Yep.
You're all set, Rich.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to the February 3rd meeting of the Capital Planning Committee. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on WRPS, and it will be available on their channel on WRPS.com. Feel free to check that out. Lots of exciting capital planning meetings out there, in case you're interested. I will share my screen and we will get started. Okay, so the meeting is called to order. The previous minutes were taken by Doug. Unfortunately, Doug is not here because he had to work today. So we will have to table the previous minutes until next week. Why don't we go ahead and start with the Recreation Department. Jean.
Hi guys, thanks for having me tonight. I had submitted a proposal or capital request proposal. As you know, we had just recently finished a usage study for Hartsuff Park, and what came out of that and a survey with the public is that, or a lot of things came out of that survey, but one of the things was to widen the entrance to Hartsuff Park, as well as make the parking lot a little bit bigger. So as some of you may know, we have recently started other programming up there. It's been increased between the town not having fields and other programs or other groups and organizations using the field, and along with ourselves, we're running a farmer's market. There's football up there. There's several other things. So the park has gotten a lot of use over the past few years. And one of the things that we realized is that the entrance and exit or entrance to the park is not adequate, along with the signage, and that we're limited on parking. So currently the park is actually being surveyed as we speak. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of snow up there now, so they may have had to stop, but they're surveying the property so that we're able to do this. But what I have before you tonight is we broke down into two phases. I lost my other paperwork. Here we go. The entrance. Did I send you the breakdown too, Rich? Does everybody have that?
You sent me the PowerPoint presentation. Do you want to go there, or do you want to?
No.
Okay.
No, I guess I can describe it. I meant to send the Word document to you as well.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I don't have the Word doc. I just have the capital request. So.
Okay. So the entrance and exit would be widened to 3 lanes, 1 to come into the park and then 2 to exit the park. The 2 lanes exiting the park, you would be able to go right and left. And I went over this, Dave Taylor and I went over all of this because Dave has this expertise in all of this with drainage and everything else. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. So our tree cutback cost would be about $10,000, drainage $2,500, and then we would need filled to build up the road and underlinements. Right, Dave? Is that the right word?
That's correct.
$12,000, and then we're still unsure if we're going to put asphalt down immediately, because there are other projects in the park that we're going to bring before capital planning, but that asphalt would be $42,000. In addition to that, we talked about adding a new sign. The sign is currently faced outward to the street, so we would turn the sign so that it would be a double-sided and is clearly visible to the traffic going up and down Hingham Street. So we need to add a concrete pad for that. Electricity, because one of the other issues we've had is that you can't actually see the sign, especially at night. when we've had a couple of programs up there at night. And then we would install it with a GFI outlet and then let's see. So sign property area, conduit, we already had, so that would be about $6,000. The sign itself would be $3,000. And then sconces to kind of overlook the sconces would actually light up the sign. Hold on, my dog is eating something. I'm so sorry. Hey, no. That would have been a vet bill. Phase 2 would be the parking lot area. It would be the clear cut trees. Over the past year, we've had a lot of trees fall with a lot of the wind. So we have a lot of trees that are already down. We would also add the underlayments there, as well as a granite curbside island. So in the middle, so we cut back some of the trees. We would add an island in the middle so that it's circular. So if everybody has been there over the past year, we've put cones down the middle or barrels down the middle so that you would go around those cones. So now that would actually become an island. And Dave, I think you said you had some granite that we could repurpose for that. Am I correct on that?
Yes, there's two options there. There's a new granite option and then a used granite option.
Yep. And then we would add trees. So the replacement trees from the ones that we had taken down, which we estimate a total of 25. And then we've just added in the asphalt. So that total cost came to $299,750. And then the last option that we have, so one of the projections is to put a gym along with some offices in it up at the park, and it would go right near the current basketball court that's there. So in order to do that, we actually need to bring in plumbing and sewage from well, we're investigating where we need to bring it in. It's either Hingham Street or it's going to come in off of Hartsuff Street. And so with all that said and done, that's 80,000. And I can actually forward you this whole entire breakdown, Rich, and that's how it came to the $431,000 that you're seeing.
Okay.
Gene, can you do you have the breakdown by phase and just in terms of total cost for phase 1, phase 2, and then the gym in the
So right now I just have phase 1 and phase 2. I did send Rich a PowerPoint presentation that when we did our usage study, that's what they broke down, what the gym would approximately cost. I mean, those are all real rough estimates. And actually, I'll tell you, and Dave could tell you now, it's already been, you might as well go up at least 15% on everything that they gave you for a cost, or they gave us for a cost. The one thing that I will say about the gym is that we've kind of already done some of that legwork. Back in 2018, the fire station committee and the community center got together, and we were going to try and do a combined building on Church Street. And so a lot of the legwork has already been done for gym and offices and space. So I have to talk to Doug a little bit more about that. And you'll probably be seeing me at some point about that as well, for everything really. But this is the beginning.
So the 431 includes the gym and the offices.
No, the 431 just includes exactly what I described: the entrance, the parking lot area, and possibly any water and sewage that we need to bring in.
Okay.
Water and sewage for
future projects.
all right. Nothing at the
Well-
moment because you haven't got anything to hook up to.
Right, we have nothing to hook up to. We need to hire an architect.
I understand you. If you're gonna pave it, you might as well put it all in before you pave it over, right? Is you gonna go in over it?
You got it, Joe.
Yeah, all right.
Or are you also saying that we're gonna put in a full 2 lanes going all the way to the parking lot? Is that what widening the entrance means?
Three
So
lanes.
go ahead, Dave.
It would be 3 lanes. So you need when you use the egress, you'll have the entrance, and then you would have a left turn lane and a right turn lane leaving the property.
Oh, so it'd be a full 3 lanes all the way back to the, okay, I understand now. That's what I was
Yeah.
hoping for. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think that's what the original plan called for. So by widening the 3 lanes, there's drainage there now. So they would either be what they're called as drainage / nature pipes, to allow animals through underneath the road. So right now it's the road format is around 35, 40 feet. Now we get bumped out to 60 to 70 feet and then accommodate that. So
So the three lanes would be where the existing 1 lane is now,
well, it's
just
essentially
wider.
right. It's 2 lanes, but it's not like a compliant 2 lane. So you would have to bump it out to 3 lanes. Once the asphalt is installed, then you would end up striping it out. You'd have signage regulating where your left turn lane is, your right turn lane, your entrance. So it would be clearly designated lanes like it should be, because whenever Gene has an event up there, whether it be the farmer's market or another large event, it turns into a driving nightmare. So she's always has to hire multiple police officers, multiple details. So it might just go down to like maybe one police detail at one point, on those. And then, especially where she adds the granite island, going around. The replication of the trees would be along the field and then also on that island. So and then it may be down the road, she could do some uplighting on the trees, add that uplighting, downlighting on the entrance. So, but you'd have to do either the phase 1, like she was talking about, was the road entrance, and then the electrical, at least getting the electrical at the sign, and then also running that stub all the way into the parking lot for future use. So, you'd end up having a junction box maybe after you get past the main entrance, and then that way you could do a takeoff from that point moving forward. So
We could eventually do parking lot lights.
correct. Yeah. So the electrical would end up coming from Hingham Street. If you're entering there, the pole's about 30 feet away from the entrance. So you'd have to do your loops there coming from the pole and then bring it in. You'd be passing that sign area anyways where the proposed footings are for the signage. So, and you go right by it. And just like Gene said, maybe for future lighting going down the entranceway. So makes
Okay,
sense.
I wasn't sure if you were going to be putting all 3 lanes in that one spot, or if you were going to have a separate driveway, like one for in and another one for out.
No, the layout that's there would just be bumped out. Like I said, we'd add the drainage, extend the drainage pipes, bring in the fill, add the underlayments, get it all prepped out. You may even, once you get that done, you may get over to like a binder coat, the bottom layer of the asphalt, and then, that'd be done. And then if there has to be some modifications, you can do it just like we did at the recycle center. And then, as she adds different phases, whether it be the parking lot out back, you could add your binder coat, and then down the road, you could top coat the whole project at that point. So.
Okay.
So in the future, we're I don't know if this is really going to get done this year, but in the near future, this would be a great CPA project.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I mean, what are the chances of CPA funds and how much?
So not this year. I can actually apply for it, and their deadline is usually October. So I'd probably get that information in for the following year. Or we do have a grant. There is a grant. It's called the Park Grant, Parkland Acquisition and Renovations for Communities. They like shovel-ready projects. We've actually never applied for this grant because we haven't been in a position to do it. And then we could possibly, in reading through it, which it's changed a little bit, we possibly could get up to $400,000. And then we would have to.
You said you got to be shovel ready.
You got to be shovel ready, which Dave is shovel ready. Just kidding.
I see. You have to have the lot cleared where you're gonna put the building, okay, yeah.
You'd have
Well,
to
I
have
mean,
the-
this isn't necessarily for the building, but this would certainly suffice for what we're doing here, which is the
Oh,
parking lot and the
that's even better.
entranceway.
Yeah, okay,
Yep, and you can apply for this multiple times per year, but it's to my understanding, this particular grant, once you get it, then you have to, you go through another cycle of what other communities get it, and then so on and so forth. So this is one of the very few grants that are out there for projects like this. And then the only other thing that I can think of is, I know Reimagine Rockland is establishing themselves as a 501(c), and this could possibly be in the bigger picture of a grant, not specifically this one, but in the bigger picture of grants and money, they could apply for more private funding from other organizations. So I've identified those for future funding for multiple projects in the park. But for this one now, it would be the park grant or CPA money.
Mm.
And this article is going in for this year, correct?
I'd like to get it in for this year, but so we'll see. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta watch your timing on, because you get, if you put it in this year, then it's good for, you have to use it within, what, 3 years?
I believe that's the case, yeah.
Yeah,
So I can apply for the grant. The grant is due July.
exactly, yeah, yeah. You got time to apply for the grant then.
Yep.
Because you said you might not be able to apply this October, next October, or whatever.
It would be fall of 2022 that I can apply for CPA funds. So those wouldn't be approved until the following
Spring, you hope.
spring, yeah.
Mhm.
So, but my hope is that we've never applied for the park grant, that maybe first time out we could get it.
Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, on the plan, on the capital plan already for this year, it was pushed to this year, last year. So I don't know what was done or what wasn't done. But the community center, you were gonna replace the elevator. Did we ever do that?
So we never ended up replacing the elevator because we didn't have the money in the budget to do it. We're looking at replacing the pan, done some other improvements for it, but it has not undergone a complete renovation. But we're replacing the inside panel. So currently I'm working with 3-phase elevator to come up with some more cost-effective solutions to do that. Because the one that I have sitting in front of me for all push buttons, it's very expensive.
Okay, because I have on the plan right now, we have 120,400 for elevator replacement as an article that would be going in this year. Do we want to just push that out?
I think you should push that out,
Yeah.
and yes, push that out.
Because you still want it, and in the next 5 years or so,
Yep.
keep
And
it.
then-
Okay with that.
We have exterior building repairs, and I noticed that there's an article.
How'd you notice an article? You saw articles of?
No,
Oh,
I think Doug gave you a spreadsheet with, did he give you? Oh yeah, repointing the bricks on the
Pointing
building.
the bricks on the building for $50,000.
Yep, so that was an estimate that I had received from one vendor. I'm waiting for 2 other people to get back to me, just to make sure that they can do it. These are emergency repairs. This isn't completely repointing the building.
oh, I was gonna say, is it, what was it? He scrolled down too quick on me.
50,000.
50,000, all right,
That was a verbal.
I was gonna say,
estimate.
that's for the whole building to redo it?
No,
It's
no.
like, So you've got emergency, you've got certain areas that are like kind of an emergency you have to get done.
Yeah, we have both chimneys, and then there's certain weakened points, some windowsills that need to be done. There's a corner of the building in the front that's very porous. So it's letting water into the building and it's seeping down the side of the walls. So
I'm surprised you didn't mark off increased safety on that, because if any of those bricks start falling.
you could click it for me. It's probably just an oversight. And then in terms of funding, there's really no funding for these buildings.
Right.
It would be great someday if they could earmark money for municipal buildings, but they just don't do it.
So we had 228,000 in there for exterior building repairs. I'm sure you don't want to, I'm sure you still want to do the exterior building repairs.
I would like to do them completely, but right now we're kind of in an emergent situation.
So do you want to take this 228 and push it out a little bit and just replace it with the 50,000 for the
Yes.
emergency
So
repairs
I would-
this year?
I would push it out to next year and let's see what I can get back over the net. I'll tell you and Dave will probably tell you this too. No one is responding on projects. It's really difficult to get people out because people are so busy. They're just not even willing to give estimates at this point. They're so slammed. I don't know if Dave's finding that issue as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean, because that number 228, that's kind of an odd number. So I'm assuming that was an estimate you had gotten at one time.
It was. So
To do what, the whole building?
that was to do the whole building. And I think we got that off of the usage study that was done a year ago.
That's good enough number for us. If
Yeah.
you want to bump it up a little, whatever. I mean.
Well, I'm sure by now it's probably increased.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would go and get I'll get real numbers to do it. But I know that there's other projects in place that are a little bit more of an emergency than ours. So
But
to,
No,
as
yeah,
a
it's just
holding,
good
as a
to, it's
holding
just,
place, we'll just put it there. So that we
exactly.
have-
It's
holding
good to
place.
know that it's a low number though. That's all.
that's and I'm hoping to get those numbers back soon, but they're just not coming.
Yeah. We have bigger problems, I know, really. That
did-
was our big,
Is there
it's
Is
tough
there
out there.
anything else on recreation that you have in the pipeline?
No, I think that's all I'm ready to really discuss right now with you guys, Richard. I gave you the usage study as to just to look over, and I don't know if that's something that you would put into your spreadsheet as future projects, but I can't tell you when they're going to get done. And there's no actual real phase with them. I would say once we can get the entranceway and the parking lot done, which I feel that's the first step. Those are the first steps. Then possibly looking at a gym down there, a gymnasium. We're going to be losing 2 gymnasiums in the town. We're going to be losing Memorial Park and Jefferson. So then now we only have McKinley, and right now we're running 6 days a week. We're running our gym actually soon to be 7 days a week. So I know that the town sports can use it because they're currently using the elementary school gyms.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Any other questions?
I don't have any. Does anybody on the board have any other questions for Gene?
No, so basically you have what, just the $50,000 this year and
The 50,000
And
and
the
the
431.
431.
the 431 for the whole, and for the entrance and parking and sewage.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep, which I'm hoping to really do off of a grant. If not, then I'll put in for CPA
No,
funds.
no, it's good that you know, we can note it on there that.
Yep.
Hopefully the funds are, instead of coming out of whatever appropriated funds, it's CPA or grants.
Yeah.
Could I have a motion to accept Jean's additions to the capital plan for this year?
Motion to accept?
I'll second.
Jeff?
Chris, did you say that?
Yes, sir.
Chris first, I'm
Yep.
second. All right.
Yeah. Jeff, do you say aye?
Mhm.
Lauren?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Thank you very much, Jean.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Yeah, thank you,
All right.
Jeannie.
You too.
And
Okay, Delshawn, you're up.
Bella, you there?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm sorry.
all
No
right.
worries.
I had to step away real quick.
No worries at all.
Everybody does that, steps away and still listens.
Okay, so for the recycling center,
Mhm.
you have a article to finish the road, and it's 123,800. Is that actually the article that was the 120 from last year, or
Is then,
did you get the 120 from last year?
Yes.
what? You did get the 120 from last year?
What did we get, Dave, last year?
120.
And
Okay.
you used it,
And we used it. And we
Yeah.
used more than we had.
and that comes off, all right. Well, that comes off but then now that,
So this would essentially be phase 3 of the recycling road repairs, right?
Correct.
That's correct. Oops,
going
sorry.
on,
Yes. Listen, I'm going to be upfront and I'm going to be honest. I don't have a presentation like Jean did. But I have Dave Taylor.
You have Dave Taylor. What more do you need?
Exactly. So thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Well, it's a little bit more than that.
I know.
Let's go. So that 120 now changes to this year for 123? Is that what you got?
This year it's going to be
123.
123,800.
All right.
Mhm.
And basically that's for, yeah, recycling, finishing the roadway and everything.
And that is for,
That's it, Telly? You don't, I mean, you don't have any other?
So Dave,
Articles?
no, that's all
I was just curious, even if they were under the $50,000 we have.
here's the recycling center upgrades, and here's the breakdown.
This
Mhm.
is, yeah, this is for this year. We broke it down into phases. So this would be for, getting the dumpsters all out of the way, out of the format. You have to, what is it? Just regrading the 3 days, paving the binder coat. Then you can see the 10% contingency. So is this let me see. Rich, can you scroll down on that? Yeah, so you can see then the following year, I put in there just for a building upgrade, roof trim, heat, repointing of the mortar joints. It's essentially like what Gene's going through up at McKinley, like the mortar joints are coming out of the brick and out of the mortar. These are large block. These are 8x16 blocks, so it's an easier fix. So, we were just looking down the following year to try to save the structure that Delhi has, because if it goes a little longer, we're not going to be able to save it. So I think but so phase 3 is essentially finishing up the road, doing pave the area out front, finish the
Dave, can I
upgrade.
ask you a question?
Yeah,
Is this, now will they get, internet, is this part of that whole thing? So that we can underneath,
It is not, but you can do the internet and some of the infrastructure improvements, maybe under ARPA funds, because that includes broadband and internet as part of the ARPA funds for the town. So you could probably list that as a partial project. So if
oh,
you
so
want,
I,
you want to add that at the point, you might want to do like a infrastructure upgrade for the facility.
Please, well, for internet?
For,
So-
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
I
all right.
mean-
And that's
I'm
something you're
sorry?
gonna go with Doug Lapp and Gino, right?
well, yes, but the problem is that Verizon and Comcast will not do it unless it's underground, right, Dave? Is that,
Yeah.
right, you'd have to, well, you'd have to come from the pole that's already there. And then you've got essentially about 150 feet from the pole to the structure. For the building.
so when the guys need the dumpsters picked up and removed, they're trying to use their phone and the internet is just, there is none. There is no, it's just a bad area. And what shocks me is because it's really close to the highest point in Rockland. You know, Beach Hill is, but once you go down that hill, you lose all kinds of connectivity. So when the attendants go to request a pickup, they can't do it because they don't have any internet and it won't go through. So, and then we have a security camera down there that we have a battery for it, but the battery dies constantly because it needs Wi-Fi and there is none. So
I know
mean-
you're that far away from Millbrook, you can't get.
nothing.
Get them to run the line down, huh?
I know. Yeah, we tried.
I mean, because it's right there, Millbrook. It's like, they all have internet, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. And
There's not much for telephone poles or
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to cut through the woods because you'd be dealing with wetland issues at that point.
You don't, where's all the wires for all the solar system?
That
Okay.
comes out from the back, but those come out and they go to that pole where Sean was referring to at the very beginning. So I think what she's saying is once you get to that telephone pole, you still have to run the underground infrastructure from the telephone pole. Like I said, it's about 150 feet to the building. The problem is
Yeah.
they won't run it to a shed. They'd have to run it to our other structure, which would be needed to be upgraded. It's the other building, the main building. So,
The big red building versus the shack.
correct.
Yeah.
the garage,
Right,
right?
Garage, yeah, right.
right. So you could use that, whether it be a router or a cordless, and then, go from that building over to the shed at some point. So it could be. So if she's looking to do that, then you would probably have to add like another probably 7,500 to 10,000 for underground infrastructure work.
Mhm.
So she would have to beef that up. So
And to be honest with you, I have that money to do that.
then maybe you don't have to, you don't have to list that as a capital plan, then you just hold on to that. And you would just put that in as your, not an
Yeah.
additional, it would just be a separate item, so.
So it's like $40,000 that I saved and put aside
Right,
because Dave saved us on doing a feasibility study because he knows what he's doing. So I had originally set aside $40,000 out of my revolving account
Oh,
for that.
that's good.
Yep. And then I just got a grant for 19,000.
Was that for anything specific?
It's anything that's to do with recycling.
Oh,
so grinding and composting, here we come.
That's my problem, right? You're 100% right, Dave.
That's right.
I'm surprised the town of Weymouth, I don't think they do recycling. Or do they? I don't know.
Well, recycling is mandatory in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
whether they do it or whether they enforce it or not.
Yeah. No, my sister lives in Weymouth and she doesn't recycle and but she's in an apartment building with private disposal probably.
You're supposed to have a
So,
separate
I think,
receptacle.
I think those other, that internet and some of that stuff that you can probably get through the grants is probably gonna be under $50,000, so that'll probably be,
Yeah,
outside of the capital planning committee.
okay.
But as far as the future projects, as far as like your building improvements and stuff like that, what do you think we should put in for a number for that, Dave?
For building improvements, I had 85.
You at 85? Okay.
Yeah, but that didn't include the septic. So right now, there's an existing septic system because you can't get sewer down at that end of town. It doesn't go that far. So you would, if you're ever gonna use that building for new bathrooms, you would be adding another $15,000. So you'd be looking at the following year, probably
Go to a
100.
septic tank.
Yeah, you'd have to have a septic system, yeah. Yeah, there's one there now. So, but it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and we're not really delving into that. But you would, if you're gonna put the money into a building, you need the upgrade, an on-site septic for one bathroom. So, which is, it's not a lot of money considering, so.
Yeah. I used to own property in Abington. I was the only friggin' street that didn't have town sewer, town septic. I had to have and then they finally brought it in and I had to connect.
Yeah, because you'd have to have a grinder pump for every house, because you'd be
Oh,
pumping up,
geez.
so, yeah.
Getting off track, all right.
Yeah, so that's, you know,
80, so it's gonna go higher than 85?
it would be 85 plus the 15. I would suggest you put the 15 in there for a new septic system at the same time. So what you'd essentially have, you'd have a new roof on that the following year, a new roof on the building. You'd have all the joints mortared. You could probably get that either stuccoed or even just painted. I would suggest swapping out the garage door at that point. And, you know,
But the brand new one I just put in?
no, it just needs to be updated. So you have a bottom piece on it that rots out on every garage door. So
Oh,
you'd
okay.
have to swap
Like-
out the bottom flange piece. This year we did a new concrete apron going into the building, you know, to stop water entering. So that would be the next phase, and then you could get a building, and then maybe at some point she could update the bathroom. So you'd have a usable building there, so. And then you can bring in your electrical, your broadband into that building, and then just run like a breaker off of that to the shed.
Can I ask a question? So I know you're just talking about the building improvements. We're not, and that wouldn't happen till next year.
Right.
So I'm faced with a tough decision right now. Thing going on with the staff members. The bathroom has mold all in the bathroom. And it's not a good sight. They have rodents that are coming into the building, into that garage. And I just found out today.
All right, so.
I'm just
Well,
saying, maybe,
are we bumping that 85 up to 100, or are you gonna keep the 15 that you need to fix that problem you're talking about and as a separate
Are you-
article
are
that
you-
would
are you saying
involve
that-
us? And
Are
you
you
can
saying
submit
that you
this
need to
year?
move this article earlier? Are you saying you need to do building repairs sooner?
I
I
think
was-
so.
And I was
but-
talking about
but-
I was talking about splitting it too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
just keep
it's-
keep the new septic and bathroom separate for what'd you say, Dave, 15? Versus the
15.
85, which would make it 100,000, do the whole thing. But if you do the repairs for 85, leave that out in another year. and put just the 15 current. You might get that bond, which wouldn't involve us, but on the finance side, the finance committee might consider it.
Well, you'd have to, I mean,
On the
It's, I
split,
mean,
I'm
listen,
just having the split
Dave's
again.
the professional, so
Yeah.
I'm
it-
just
It was
explaining
just,
the
it was just a
need.
thought on how you're gonna submit it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm thinking
I mean, 'cause
maybe
you
that
combine-
article needs to be pushed up.
Yeah, you've got a lot combined then at 431.
what is it? Does
So
she
she
have
doesn't have the 431. That was the recreation.
431
sorry.
recreation?
Yeah.
Two phases.
So I have 123,800. But
Right.
if we could take that 15,000 and make it one,
Well, you couldn't do that because you're
No?
dealing, yeah, because you're dealing with road repairs and you'd be dealing with, building.
building repairs.
building
Okay,
repairs at that point. So,
all right.
Sorry, Dave, it was just a thought.
yeah,
I wasn't sure when you said, when you rambled off that number 15 to,
well, I
on
said,
top of
yeah,
doing
so
the septic.
the 15 would cover septic, could cover the bathroom at that point. So we might have to go a different avenue on that. You might be able to get a grant, update the facility where it's recycling. So you might be able to do something with that because it is essentially a recycling station. You use
Yeah.
it for totes, so it would have to, you might be able to reach out and, broaden that grant. So.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, but that's like Deli and I talked, and that would be, get rid of the road, get that off. All the drainage is done in that area now. The drainage got done this year, the binder coat, you could do the binder coat out front. And then we look at, putting a thin top coat on it. And then tighten up the rest of there's some small drainage stuff, and then tighten up everything out front. And then, the building, I think, you don't want to wait too long on the building before the structure is not usable. I think it's a good structure, and it's, basically, if you put that money into it, you'd have a good workable garage over there, so.
And I'm thankful for everything so far. I truly am. I mean, so many people call and they're like, oh, this recycling center is wonderful. I mean, I'm so excited for all the repairs, especially
Nice
the
to get those
road.
calls, Deli, yeah.
Huh?
It's nice to get those calls.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, people are really thrilled with it. I'm thrilled with it. I just
yeah.
love what it's become now from what it was 3 years ago. And I'll tell you, it wouldn't be that way without the townspeople voting for it and Dave Taylor saving us a lot of money. His highway department is saving us a lot of money on those upgrades at the recycling.
All right, so what we've done here for the recycling center is we've added the article for the 123,800 for this year. And we have an estimate of approximately $85,000 to $100,000 for building repairs for next year is what we have. And, if you have other smaller items that are below $50,000 that you wanted to submit or that you need to submit, those we don't have to talk about at capital planning. The only ones we have to work around with capital planning is over $50,000.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other questions for either Delshawn or Dave?
Do
not.
Okay, could I get a motion to accept adding the 123,800 and the 85 to the capital plan for this year and next year for the Board of Health?
85. You didn't want to add the 15 for the septic on top of that 85? Is that what you
Okay,
said,
We'll
Dave?
make it 100. What the heck? It's
Yeah.
at this
I'm
point in
just
time,
trying,
it's
I just want to
point in
be,
time, it's play money anyway. So
No,
yeah,
yeah. And Joe, thank you, because I was gonna say that as well.
it is what it is. I
yeah,
mean,
It's a
an
wish
estimate.
list.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
of things that need to be done, especially the septic side.
All right, so 123.8 and 100 for next year.
Quick question, you got did you get that? I'm looking, I don't see your headings on the years, but so the current,
This is 2023, this is 2024, this is last year.
last year, all right,
I
that's what I
just
thought.
have last year on there so that I know what they had asked for last year.
So you've already, never mind, all right, go ahead.
I haven't taken it away yet. It's my working
Yeah.
copy.
I keep looking at the IT and the clerk's department right above her.
Oh, the voting, yeah.
Those aren't yours.
Yeah, they all fall under the town
Oh.
hall departments
Yeah,
bundle. So,
all right, I'll make a motion to accept Deli's presentation as presented.
I can second.
okay, Jeff,
Aye.
Joe,
I
Lauren,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
and welcome, Bill. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to, I tried to email it so many times.
Yeah, I finally got in.
Oh,
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
All right.
hopefully you
And
got
I'm
the
an aye
summary
as well.
on what we did there.
Okay, Deli. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
all. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully you don't have to be up all weekend.
No, we'll be out early tomorrow, though.
All righty.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
I wish, oh my God.
Ugh.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks,
All right.
Dave.
All right,
Thanks,
Tell Sean,
everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
I will, you too. Thank you. I
Right.
really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
How do you get out of this meeting?
You just
All
say, click on the button that says
Oh,
leave.
there's leave. Okay. Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
Okay.
so,
Just to fill in a little bit. The Jean from the recreation department came in and she talked about the Hard Stuff Park entrance and parking lot, where they're going to be expanding that into 3 lanes instead of just a half a lane that it is, 1 lane that it is
Yeah.
now. That's going to be about $431,000 for all of the work that they have to do up there at Hard Stuff Park on the parking lot
Yeah.
and the road work and the fill and bringing in sewerage for projects that are going to be coming up in future phases. So that was the $431,000 there. They also have an article of $50,000 for emergency brick repointing at the Rockland Community Center for the 2 chimneys and a couple of the areas where the bricks were really damaged and they needed to have those repaired. So that came in at about $50,000. And then we pushed out their elevator until next year, and we pushed out the external building repairs for the whole building till next year as well, so we can figure out what we're going to do with that. So just to give you a heads up on what the recreation department presentation was. I do have the PowerPoint presentation from the rec department. I can send that to you guys so that you have it as background, and we can talk about it when we.
that's fun. That's fun viewing if we lose power or something.
Well, I mean, it's something that we can talk
Yeah.
about when we're going through and
No,
doing
not-
exploring and finalizing the plan, because it'll talk about that gymnasium.
I'm thinking she might formally present to the finance committee next time when she meets with them. Rich, you got a handle on things here, Rich. You're meeting with a lot of departments before the finance committee does.
Well, that's because I'm being proactive and reaching
Yeah,
out to them.
it's good. Kudos.
The only ones that we have left to talk to is I need to make sure that the IT department doesn't need anything. They're in here for $60,000, but there's no article for the IT department. And then we have to meet with the school department.
I know in the past we met with a couple committees. Are we meeting with any?
Did IT give you, that's this year, 60,000? He's
That's
got,
60,000 this year, but it was given to us last year.
oh, you bumped it out, okay.
So it was something that was bumped out. So I need to find out if they still need it, what they're doing, if they got
Yeah.
grants and worked around it, how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, you can just talk to him. If he wants to change it, then he should come before us and do it, yeah.
So I don't believe that community preservation has anything that's higher than $50,000 that they're spending. The one thing that I don't have on this plan that I need to put on the plan is I got to put that farm on the plan that we bought back in December.
Oh, yeah, we do. Didn't we? We didn't already have it on here somewhere?
It was in the we did it at the August meeting, and I just haven't updated the plan with the August meeting notes yet. I've been updating this working copy with
Oh, I get you.
with everybody as we've been meeting
You were
with them,
working, yeah, you're working off the last town meeting copy and.
and
that
I'm
land
building
thing,
out the new plan that way. But I haven't, so I have to add on the McCarthy farm, and I got to figure out, who it belongs to.
Special town meeting, yeah.
So it belongs, I imagine it belongs to either, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll ask Doug who it belongs to, and
Yeah, we had to start with the current cost and how 5 years out, whatever, yeah.
put that in there, because I know we had the big grant for that, and it really didn't cost us. It's not going to cost us a whole lot out of the town, because we did get the grant, because we weren't going to buy it if we didn't get the grant. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that 431 that Jeannie wants that would be very nice, because I drive by there and I can barely see or remember where the entrance is to Hartstruff. I mean,
and they are doing quite a bit up there.
Unless I'm going there, and if she can use CPA funds or grants to pay for that instead of the taxpayers, that's a kudos. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, and that park is getting used quite a bit as well. So, if I can get the school committee for next Thursday, if I can get the school department for next Thursday, I will have a meeting next Thursday.
Mhm.
And we will try to have an in-person meeting so that we don't have any of these Zoom connection issues. If anybody does need to dial in, I'll have my phone there so we can have a conference call set up in the conference room if you can't be in person. I believe we can set up a conference call.
Yeah.
Remember to call in.
Yep, that shouldn't be a problem.
So, are there any other questions or comments from the committee?
No, I wasn't sure if you were did we already go over all Dave's stuff? Dave Taylor's? Is Dave still here? You left, right?
Yeah, we already did Dave Taylor.
No, yeah, all right.
He came to do the highway department and the sewer department.
Today he just came to help with the Board of Health. All right.
Today he just came to help Delshine.
All right. I mean, if we have no other business, I'll make a motion to
It's all set now, Pat.
end the meeting.
Do we have a second?
That's what we were looking for. Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Jeff,
Aye.
I,
Lauren,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Joe,
I.
and I'm an aye as well. Thank you very much for your participation in the Capital Planning Committee meeting. And we will be signing off now.
Seeing
Thank you
everyone.
very much, and
All right.
have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thanks,
You
guys.
too.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
One night, you guys chose the baby.